By the identity, cosine of x plus pi over 2 is equal to negative sine of x. Remember the formula for the sum of cosine two angles for cosine? So you need that. So let's plug in what we know. Sine of x plus pi over 2, or cosine of x plus pi over 2 is equal to cosine of x, cosine of pi over 2, minus sine of x, sine of pi over 2. You draw a picture. Pi over 2 puts me up here. That's pi over 2. That angle is pi over 2. That point is 0, 1. X is equal to 0. Y is equal to 1. R is equal to 1. So cosine of x. Remember, cosine is x over r. So I have 0 over 1. So cosine of x times 0. Minus sine of x. This is y over r. 1 over 1 is 1. Cosine of x times 0 is 0, so I have negative sine of x. Because 1 times anything is itself. So you end up with negative sine of x. You're done. Next one. Verify the tangent identity. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, I'll use the tangent identity. We start using it. We plug in pi over 2. But the problem with that is, at that point, remember, tangent of some angle, and this angle is pi over 2, tangent is the opposite or y side over x. Y is 1, x is 0, it's undefined. So I can't use that formula. So what do we say? We say, oh, we're done. No, we're not done. What we can do is use sine over cosine. So remember that tangent is sine over cosine. So that is what I want to use. I want to use the sine of the difference over cosine of that difference. So I want to use sine. Here's my sine formula. There's my cosine formula. There's my base formulas. So when I do it, I have the sine of x, cosine of pi over 2, minus sine of pi over 2, cosine of x. Okay? Somewhere, wherever I have it. Can I write it next to it? Let's see. Right there it is. That's what I just said. Over the cosine. So you have cosine of x, cosine of pi over 2, plus sine of x, sine of pi over 2. And again, remember, pi over 2, that's my x, that's my y. Okay? Oops. Not that big of a parenthesis, right? Okay? So when I'm doing this, sine of x is sine of x. Cosine is your x, so that's 0. So remember that this right here is 0. This right here is 0. Sine of pi over 2 is your y. So remember that's 1. That's 1. And that's what I've written there if you want to. And the next line, or actually not the next line. But you don't have to rewrite it if you don't want to. That would be fine. Sine times 0 cancels out, so I have negative cosine of x. So there's my negative cosine of x. This one, like I said, goes to 0. Here I have this sine of x. Cosine over sine is which trig function? Cotangent. So I have negative cotangent of x. And I'm done. So I verified that's negative cotangent of x. Last example that I want to do for this video. Find the exact value. Okay, one of the trig functions has a cosine, cosine minus sine, sine. So instead of looking at this side of the formula, I'm looking basically at this side of the formula, okay? So let's figure out which one that is. That is a cosine, and I hope you remember that it is a cosine of the sum. So I'm given this side. This is the side I need to find, the cosine of alpha plus beta. Alpha is 57, beta is 33. So I want the cosine of 57 plus 33. 57 plus 33 is 90. Cosine of 90. Same triangle, or same spot, it's not a triangle. That's my x. So 0 over 1, which is 0. And we're done.